It's interesting. Sometimes we don't see, I was going to say we don't see the pattern, but it's not that. It's like we don't even necessarily see what's going on, what's right in front of our face, what's actually occurring, until we go through it. I think that's what they're showing. How can I verbalize that better? It's like you'll watch an experience that you're close to, right? Like you may be only 1 or 2 degrees away and you watch it. And yeah, it's painted a certain way based on your perception, but also how it's being portrayed through the mouths of others, right? Like what others are saying based on their perception or whatever is occurring. And so essentially we're all judging it. Not necessarily good or bad, but you are making assumptions or conclusions or whatever the case. And you may not pay much mind to it per se, but you do have your opinion on the matter, so to speak, or how you would explain what occurred. And you'll find in doing so, you're likely flavoring your explanation based on the flavors that were around you, that flavored your perception. But then you find yourself in that dynamic that you just watched and explained. You're now at the center of that storm. And you still might not even recognize that that's occurring, that you're now experiencing what you had witnessed. But somewhere along the way, you might start to notice or remember or realize. And then it paints an entirely new picture or perception on the previous thing you witnessed or experienced. And you see it from a whole new light, a whole new angle. Ways that you never imagined. And it makes sense because those around you that were flavoring your perception at the time are now essentially doing the same thing. But this time, it's to you, for you, with you, however you want to say it. You're now on the other end. And it's so eye-opening. And it also allows you to recall many, many other things and many other experiences, conversations, perceptions that you thought were yours. And they were. And they also had the flavoring of all those around you. Again, I think they're showing just more of like, just learning, growing, maturing, but it's also these awakenings, right? When you recognize there were a lot of things that you just held as true. There's a lot of, we do that with so much stuff, we really don't recognize it. There is so much in our lives that we hold as truth when they're not, they're opinions. And because we don't hold them as an option or an opinion, but we hold them as a truth, it can cause our own, it's not just stagnation, but our own ruffles, our own waves unnecessarily. But we don't realize it or recognize it or see it as such because, again, it's not up for debate or question, not even because you're not flexible or willing, but just simply because it doesn't dawn on you to question something that you've held as a truth. It's like not, in your eyes, an obstacle or even an option to question. It's not dawning on you, right? These are the blind truths, right? Or the blind spot where you just And when it's brought, that's funny. They're showing somebody bringing that to light, right? So it's like, even when it's brought to your awareness, even when it's presented as something other than truth, not necessarily a lie, but it's just not necessarily true either, it seems like confusing. Sorry, I can't describe what the person's doing. They're like, huh? They're like shocked. They're shocked and confused, but it's not in a bad way. It's kind of funny. Like they're just, like they think there's something wrong with the person who's trying to explain that it's not a truth. It's like, they're like, what are you talking about? Don't be ridiculous. Don't be so silly. Like, it's like, what, please, I'm trying to deal with something over here. I can't, that's nonsense. Like, it's not soaking in. Yeah. Because it can be jarring. Like, eventually it'll probably seep in. And it is kind of jarring when these things occur. Or at least I have found them to be. I have found when we have believed things, people, places to be a certain way, and that's just a truth for us, a fact for us, or whatever, and we discover that, nope, it can flip your whole world upside down. Things can go really topsy-turvy on you. I always want to share the specific examples, but it's like I feel like people get so upset. They're just still in their ego, so they take it personally or this or that. Maybe one day. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. If you would like to support this channel, you can find more information in the notes below.